Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome to my channel. It's just Rhonda, and I'm just here to talk about Ready to Love, Season 1, Episode 10. We've made it to the end, you guys. You know what? I almost forgot. Before we start, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, let's talk about this thing over here. So, we made it to the end. It's cool. I enjoyed it. The thing about it is, like, I don't think anybody believes that they're going to go on this show and really find their forever. Like, don't even get me started on what that is. Listen, a relationship is a whole lot of work. And sometimes you be up to it, but once you matrimony yourself to somebody, you said forever, ever. And so those are some terms and conditions. I have not quite found myself in the place where I wanted to, that ain't a contract I want to sign. Anyway, we ain't talking about me. We're talking about them. These ladies went to New Orleans. I don't think anybody thought they was really gonna fall in love. But it's always cool when you see people make connections and how they move in order to do that. I think it's also a study, like as much as we sitting here critiquing these ladies and the men too on how they're moving through this process, like who would you identify the most in this process? Not Ashley. That wouldn't be me. I would say I personally, and it's not just the whole hairdresser thing, but I do see that out of all these women, I feel like I move a lot like Vernisha. I mean, I ain't working with what she working with, so I don't really present myself in the sexy, way that she presents herself. She catches a lot of heat for it, and I say, you know what, Vernisha, because people got to accept you for who you are. Like you got a lot of nerve coming into a situation, judging people, on who they are as a person. I think the best way to make a connection is to try to connect with somebody that is gonna benefit you in a way where both of y'all can move forward in life. We always getting caught up on how sexy somebody is and the chemistry between the two. And the unfortunate part is the chemistry don't always come. And that's the trick, like getting the chemistry and all the other benefits to mesh together. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm just saying, like, whether or not these people end up in a relationship and, I do forever for the rest of their lives and stuff before they, sometimes you put yourself in a position to meet someone that the relationship carries on for however long, for whatever it's supposed to be. I don't necessarily think that any of these connections that we see here, I think it's a few people, three, walking away with something that they didn't have when they got here. I think Tabari and Vernisha and Jabari and Vernisha will probably continue to communicate some type of a way, even if it's on social media. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, it's still like communicating and getting to know a person, however that's supposed to be. Vernisha, unlike the rest of them, did say she's back and forth in New Orleans. And so her building something over there, even if it's part-time, because by the time you get to a certain age, sometimes that's the relationship that's the one that works for you. Zodia and Cam are not ready for that type of thing. Cam is just getting started. I wonder why they didn't give Zodia more mature options. The options was asked. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know why that is. I think it's because y'all be so focused on making shit messy. Like that's what entertains us, and it doesn't. And unless you're gonna cast somebody like Ashley, who doesn't make sense, and the poor girl needs some help that I don't know that she's gonna find, but it ain't here. Like Ashley shouldn't be trying to mesh her life herself in with any other person until she gets a handle on her own self. Point blank and the period. I can't tell you. I know I don't know her, not personally. I'm just saying this is what she's bringing us, and so this is what I'm judging on. I feel like Zadia though, like she's a pretty solid got her own young woman, got her own thing going on, and close to 40. So she's going to be making decisions maybe that Cameron's not there yet. And when we'll talk about that. Matter of fact, let's just get into it because I'm rambling on, and we ain't even got started. Anyway, back at the crib, Zodia is telling Cam that she chooses to keep him around. I'm not surprised. I can't even say I blame her because we're at episode 10. Only one more thing to do. Why am I going to bring in this dude, this principal dude, even though she said he made her all tingly and made her forget about Cam? What are we bringing him over here for? Girl, I'm about to go home. So I get it. Like her and Cam got a thing. They might as well ride it out. As far as what they have going on afterwards, I just don't see it. I think Cam was the thing that you ran across in your life. I'm super sorry because my family just decided they wanted to be extremely noisy today. So I got pots going in the kitchen and my man is somehow out of control on his PlayStation. So sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to lose my track of thought. Cam is not there yet. So I just think he's telling her basically he needs more time to get there. I just feel like Zodia maybe should have had some more mature options. Anyway, she says she liked this principal guy, but I don't believe her. Cam says he's relieved and happy to continue the process. Cam, stop lying. I don't even know, like he getting on my nerves at this point now. I was team Cam. I think everybody is because at the end of the day, everybody thinks that Cam is a good guy and has so much going for him. But Zodia is not it. And he likes her enough to keep coming around just because he's probably like, first of all, let's be clear. Cam didn't get no weeks off. Everybody else, what's his name? Donald, Ashley kicked him out and then had a few weeks where he didn't have to be bothered with this. And then, they called him back for the last few episodes. Same thing with Maurice. He went on a couple of days and then Sharice kicked him to the curb only for him to come back at the end. Cam been at work the whole time. Maybe Cam been over here trying to renegotiate his contract because Cam has had to work the entire season, just like Zodia and the rest of the ladies. So I get where he's saying, like, man, I didn't realize what I was signing up for because, I mean, that's a lot. Especially when you don't expect to connect with somebody, which they clearly did. Even if it's physical, I don't care. I think Zodia came over here saying she was celibate. And so she ran into Cam and maybe Zodia, he was just brought here in your life to get you over that hump. I ain't saying she slept with the man. Everybody else is saying that. I'll say this: is she's a fool if she didn't. Like, why the hell not? Do you over here, down in New Orleans? Just be careful. Enjoy your life, girl. Run it. And I'm sure she did. She's not stupid. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't say sure. I should say allegedly and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't have any problem with it. It would make sense. Like I would really hate that she didn't even get the pleasure of knowing nothing about this man, especially since they had all this chemistry and you going home wondering. That don't even sound right. So, girl. And I mean, I remember their first date. It was so cute. They was both cheesing so hard. I was like, here we go. We all saw it. It was almost like the cameras weren't there. They was just a grinning and it was real cute. And now, they looking stressed and it's only been 2 months. So imagine what it'll look like in another 3 months. They ain't even gonna be probably talking to each other that much. Anyway, Sharice. Sharice lets go of H-Town. She said they're just in two different places in their lives, and we know they are because H-Town resides in 1993. I mean, with that high top fade and all. If he's 40, then he was only like 10 or 11 years old in 1993. So, and he's a barber. And fix your hair. You didn't go on TV looking like that saying you're a barber. Wasn't even a good haircut. He should have had somebody else do it. Did he do it himself? Anyway, he's gone. We don't want it. Tamika, why was this even an option? Like, Sharice is clearly, one thing is for sure. Out of all these women, we know exactly what Sharice wants, and Sharice knows exactly what she wants. She ain't changed, not from the very beginning. Now, we call her superficial. Why? Because she is, but I don't think she's apologetic about that and don't give a shit what we have to say. Sharice is Sharice, and there's somebody out here that's going to appreciate that. Maybe it's Maurice. I'm just saying. Sharice is just too grown. Why would you send her this man with a high top fade? It didn't make sense. They did better on that TV show Love Connection back in the day. Remember back in the day, they have that show Love Connection, and they would pick 3 bachelors or 3 bachelorettes. They did better back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? They like picked people who were like in the same lane somewhat. Who has that job? Can I get that job? The job as the picker? Y'all don't be picking. I can't do worse than that. I'm just saying. Anyway, this should have never been an option. Tamika, I'm gonna blame you. Since you calling yourself the matchmaker, this all lies on you. You can sit up there all day long and say production, it's their fault. But you said you know everything about New Orleans. And I didn't see nobody on there like anyone similar to your husband. Does he not know anybody? Does he not have any friends that would go on the show? Y'all need to do some, what do they call it? Um, what do they call it when the people come in and like test your product, or I'll think of it, but y'all know what I mean. Tamika says there's no more blind dates. That's good. That's fine. We're tired of it anyway. And we see what's going on here. We get it. It's time for some new people. They have to meet the families. I don't know why this is a part of the process, but I guess. Anyway, friends and family, I get it to some extent. Like they didn't make it a big deal. It's up to you who you want to bring, and I feel like it's a good way for your friends and for the ladies to, y'all can vet each other and see what a person is really like from somebody that knows them. Now, who they bring also says a lot about them and where they're at. They over here at Culture Park. I'm not from New Orleans. I don't know anything about Culture Park, but yeah, that's where they at. I bet you don't. People will tell you. I have to do a little research. I'm not that interested. Based on what they showed us, they were sitting down to the benches. Anyway, Maurice brought his daughter and his cousin. His daughter is very beautiful. And she speaks very highly of her dad. That says a lot about him. She describes him as kind and giving, and we know Maurice don't mind spending a coin on himself. So kind of giving would indicate if you're the right person for him, he'll spend on you too. I could see him spoiling Sharice. I think the challenge with them is like if she keeps saying communication, do they have anything to talk about? I feel like he does have a lot to talk about. Yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, she changed her mind because here we are meeting the family. I feel like Sharice they'll be acting. Like I see her on the show, and then I've seen her do interviews, and those two people are not the same people. And so she does this thing where she kind of chameleons her way into wherever she at. But what happens when another little chameleon comes in the room and then the cat fight begins? And I think it would be because so far what we've seen of Sharice, like she doesn't walk away with female relationships. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time for Maurice to go places and do those social things that lawyers do, like is Sharice gonna be up here fighting with the lady, that's your colleague's wife? Because she go from 0 to 10. I'm telling you, she's sitting up there putting her best foot forward down here to the bench. But we've seen her snap. She snapped in this episode. We'll talk about that. She's just not a girl's girl. And he has daughters. So, you know what I mean? Like, what if this one came off like, and we've only seen like 2 minutes of this young lady, but she was very beautiful and poised, and, she dressed very nice. And so I just wonder She may be the spicy one, she may not, but there's always one that's gonna pledge your ass. And can Sharice handle that? Because his kids are grown. It's not like I think maybe she does better with adults though than children, but not that's because children see the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why she doesn't like kids, because kids like they see you for who you really are. Kids and dogs. Does she like dogs? I don't know. Yeah, I think she has a dog, so but it's prissy dog. Anyway, I just think she's fake, and I think um it would be interesting to see like if she can manage to build a relationship with his daughters. And I don't know how deep she goes. Like, you know, like you know how like Ashley is way too much in love, like immediately when the man walks in the room. Sharice is like the polar opposite of that. Anyway, they meshed really well, and he's seen, you know, his the people that he bought made sense. Like people like it was his cousin, his daughter. I think the daughter was a good one to bring because she's either like right off the bat gonna say, and he knows which daughter to bring. Trust me, if I had to pick one of my children, I know which one to bring. After, you know, the meetup at the culture park, they had another date, and this time they went to go get pedicures, and they're walking down the street and they look so nice together. I don't know why I'm seeing Maurice and Maurice and Sharice, are y'all for real? I don't know why I'm seeing them in such a different light. It's almost like they let their guard down with each other and they're a little more comfortable. Maurice seems a little less uncomfortable with the cameras, and so we're starting to see them like they like the same stuff. He wants to go ahead get his toes done. He could take his girl with him, and then they could hang out and go on walks and hold hands, and then they could go eat, and then the conversation will be over. Because once that Maurice gets down to the dinner table, it is over. He ain't talking until he's done with his dinner or whatever. Anyway, they did look good together. Sharice is being all affectionate and touching his face and calling him babe. And I'm like, yeah, this is different. We're not used to this. I think it's good. I think it's a good thing that she gave Maurice a break. He told us, he said he would be back. I guess he knew better than we did, child. He said he would be back, and here he is. I don't know if they have sexual energy or not. Like I can't picture it with either one of them. Don't want to, so I'm gonna pass on that one. But I do feel like they have a connection. So who knows where that leads to. Clearly, there are people that they move a little slower. That's okay. That's okay. So I think him being put on pause kind of was good for him. So she could see like, okay, so if you really like me, then we'll see. Vernisha meets Tabari's family. He brings his mother and his brother. His family is very pleasant, but so is Tabari, so that doesn't surprise me. Vernisha has an instant connection with his mother. They connected on, you know, how they raise their children. Vernisha has two children in college, and Tabari's mother, you know, was saying, you know, how she put her boys through school, and it was very. I feel like Vernisha's connection with his mom is like more connection than she has with him. I mean, he's not being so silly. He's being a little more serious, but I have a hard time taking him serious now though, because just his demeanor is so, you know. Renisha brings up this communication issue. I feel like that's what they say when they don't like somebody. So they, you know, just say, hey, we ain't communicating. Cause I'm like, how much texting and stuff do y'all want? Like, I know y'all are sitting in that house waiting on something to do, but the people that live there, I feel like they actually have stuff to do. So let me like do my normal routine and then I'll hit you up. I heard, I heard 8 hours. I heard 2 days. I mean, 2 days is a lot. I feel like when you like somebody, you can hit me up and say, you know, hey, what's up? I'm probably, you know, working late tonight, so I'll talk to you later. You know, say something. That's generally how it works when you like the person. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, because for me, I feel like if it's going that way for me, then I'm gonna just stop texting and we can just ghost each other. Ain't nobody finna be chasing around. But on that note, it probably wasn't a thing yet. Vernisha was kind of surprised he brought his mother and baby, I guess, but he's 48 years old, so he ain't out here playing. So who else is he gonna bring? This is who you're gonna need to connect with. Like, why am I bringing my homeboy? That's stupid. This is the people that in my life that you're gonna need to have a relationship. So let's like see what she says straight out the gate, so I don't waste my time and her going, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. He said he was laying the groundwork for marriage. I'm not sure why though. I'm not sure why you would be using, why Vernisha. What is she? I just don't feel like she's giving him any real energy. She's giving him very much friend. I felt a little different with her and Tabari. I mean, I saw her on her interview on Crystal XO, and it feels like she said Jabari was very jealous. And I said, I called that then. He gave me that. Anytime you're saying I get out for work at 5:30 and my wife should be home and we have to go to bed at the same time and she should be home he's on some old ancient, ridiculous ass traditional values. Ain't nobody doing all that. And so when she was saying that she don't be home like that. I feel like for me that didn't translate into for me that did not translate into I'm out in these streets. For me that was I do different events. I'm sure she does like other like nighttime events too. Because she's a TV personality. I'm just saying I feel like her saying that she's an entrepreneur. She has networking to do, and she's not always going to be home at 5:30. That being said, I don't think that means she's like out here in these streets all the time because she's also a hairstylist who has to, that type of work is different, and you don't always be feeling like going nowhere after you've been doing hair all damn day. Anyway, I mean, I'm assuming she's still behind the chair. I don't know. Her and Tabari have it went well with her with his family. I mean, she's a professional woman and she always conducts herself, in a very positive way. Even with what I'm getting, I ain't gonna say we, even with what I'm getting as far as the energy with Tabari, she's not rude to anybody. She's always stays very poised and pleasant. Yeah, I'll be talking about her clothes. I don't care. I don't care what she has on. If he likes it, then and I feel like that's a small thing. So just like y'all want Ashley to respect this boy over here and his loafers, I feel like Vernisha deserves the same respect. So, and she's single, and you don't know what she's like. She might like tone it down a bit in a relationship just because you don't want your man out here having to fight somebody because they don't know how to act. But right now, she's free to be whatever it is she wants to be. So can y'all get off of that, please? It's so annoying. Anyway, I mean, it's just like every review I hear is talking about how, you know, her cleavage and she does. She dresses very sexy. And I'm pretty sure early on I did see a nipple. I'm not, I wasn't about to like rewind it and pause it, but I was just like, girl, what's going on? But I also feel like who the fuck cares? I mean, what's the name? Ashley, her confessional, her whole titties is out the whole time. I don't hear nothing, nobody saying that. Ashley bringing titties and cleavage and, all the way out where her shirt got to be taped to her chest. But we don't talk about that because, because they're smaller, I guess. I don't know. So I just think, I'm like, can y'all get off of that? Because everything about her, there's so many positive things to say about her in terms of how she moves and, what have you. Anyway, her and Tabari have a date. They went to another nice restaurant. One thing about Tabari now, I'm sure he knows where all the good places to eat. He took her to a nice restaurant. And in this moment, for one quick second, she did say she felt closer after meeting his family. It might have made her see him in a different kind of way, except for he's acting so goofy. And she has him very much on distance. And I feel like after this many dates, usually by now y'all would have gotten closer to each other. Like even when they hug each other, it just seems like it's very church hug and it's very, this is the first time. They sat down, they had a little conversation, they went a little deep. She was talking about, losing the father of her oldest daughter and, getting a little more personal. And I don't know what she said to him. I think she said that exact words that meaning his family made her feel closer to him or something like that. And I'm like, oh, Tabari, just be so excited. And like I said, out of all of these three ladies, the one that I identify with the most is Vernisha. So I'm like, that would just turn me off. It would. I'm sure he's nice. Anyway, she did allow him to give her a little kiss, like on the cheek, barely, when she hugged him and turned her head. The head turn. Kirsten turned his head from Ashley. Ashley turned her head from Donald. And Vernisha turned her head from Tabari. I saw it. I saw her, and he went ahead and he tried to get him a little squeeze, but he's always seems very surprised. Whenever she says something positive about him, he gets all like, really? Anyway, Cam brought his best friend Mario over to the benches at the culture park. And he is a married friend. And I did like that because nobody wants to hear what your little single friends out here in these streets have to say about anything. I guess the married ones too, but I don't want to hear from your single friends, child. How to get to know you so they can, like, I don't know. Anyway, Mario describes Cam as a disciplined. He says he has a vision, he follows through, he sticks to it, he sticks to the plan. That's what he's been saying, Zodia, the whole time. And so now you have his friend co-signing the things that he said. Mario said him and his family like help keep him grounded. They, make him like take a break, put the work down, and just come enjoy some things like family cookout or birthday or what have you. Cam says he's like that though because he loves his work. Most people aren't that lucky, and he's right. He's passionate about what he does. He loves his work and he wants to put his all into it. Plus, he has a plan and he plans on sticking to it. So she said, now I see him in a different light. And I'm like, why? That's what he's been saying the whole time. Like, what's different about what you just heard and what he said? He told you the plan, he broke it down for you. It's supposed to go down in about a year or two, in which point he'll be closer to 40, and probably, yeah, that's when he's gonna want to do it. You're already closer to 40. So, and this is the thing, she doesn't want to have kids. I don't know if they've ever discussed this, but she was the one that said something about gifting a man a baby. And, I think that's downright ridiculous. Don't say that anymore, Sadia. But it's not her thing. Like, she's not really looking forward to having children. I don't know if Cam has said whether he wants to have kids or whether he doesn't want to have kids, but I feel like once he gets closer to 40, that's probably what's going to happen. And by the time he gets closer to 40, she's going to be a little bit older. Now, we do see a lot of women in their 40s having babies. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying, girl, you better freeze some eggs or something if you plan on doing it, because it's gonna only get harder from here. Sadia asked his friend if he thinks Cam is ready for a relationship. And his friend said, yeah, it's just a matter of making time, which Cam doesn't like doing that. Every time he's put in a position where he's got to make time, it stresses him out. So I don't know what your friend is talking about. And he said, and if the woman is a good fit. Now that part I don't disagree with, because whoever the woman is going to have to be willing to, I don't even want to say willing. she's going to have to be in a position where she can bend and be a little more flexible because Cam is not. He doesn't want to. That stresses him out. And even over this short period of time, every time he comes to see Zodia, he's saying he's stressed. And I feel like it's like, can't you just come over later where we can chill? Like all these stupid dates during this process is getting on my nerves, but he kind of has to keep doing it. Then Zodia does that thing I hate. And I wish she would stop doing this. But she asked his friend, do you think I'm a good fit? Girl, he just met you. You just sit down. Y'all do not know each other. He does not know if you're a good fit. All he could say is she's pretty and she seems nice. That's it. That's all. That's it. You're going to need 2 months of dating his friend for him to decide whether or not he thinks that's a thing or not. And I'm getting the feeling that Cam don't hardly have time for dates with you. So trying to make double dates with his friend and his wife is only going to make things more complicated and stressful. Zodia sat up there and said, meeting Mario showed her that Cam does have flexibility and wiggle room to include others in his life. Where did you hear him say that? I don't understand what you're talking about. That's not what I heard him say. I heard him say the man is disciplined. He has a plan. He sticks to it. And often I have to tear him away from it and make him close his laptop to come enjoy some of life. That don't sound like flexible. That sounds like Cam gets over to the barbecue and stresses for a while about all the work he needs to do. Probably has a couple few beers or whatever it is he drinks. He might partake in a little smoke, whatever it is. He's a pharmacist. I don't know. They'd be funny about those type of things. So then he goes probably back home and works some more before he goes to bed because now he has to make up for the time that he didn't get before. That's just, that's what I heard, girl. I did not hear anything about all this flexibility that he was supposed to be having to include you. And you need a whole lot of time, Zodia. And a lot of attention, a lot of positive reinforcement. Sometimes that can be, what my man say, Maurice, I thought about you. Don't let me hit him with the, I thought about you. Yeah. Oh shit. I love that shit. This guy said he married his wife. He met her at the gas station. He married her 2 months later. 2 months later. Don't listen to that friend. He doesn't make good decisions. I'm sure him and his wife are fine. I'm just saying, don't do that. Her response is, so there's hope. No, there's not. That's dumb. You don't marry somebody that you met at a gas station 2 months later. It's really hard to tell what Claudia really wants. It's confusing. I think they're both delusional. I do. He just as bad as she is. Okay, so Don brings his two friends, his friend Gian, I guess, and Lakeisha. Ooh, child. It's always fun to save Ashley for last. I feel like all the women in Don's life are toxic. I'd be curious to see what his mother is like. I'm not making no judgments about the woman. I'm just saying, why is he always attracted to like this? Because this was weird. Donald's friend Gian. Now Gian is a guy. Lakeisha's obviously a girl. You got when they say that them Keishas, I don't care like how fancy you make it. Them Keishas is always a lot, a lot, a lot. Anyway, his friend Gian asked her what attracted her to Donald, and Ashley, in her most dramatic way, his eyes, his smile, his confidence, the way he just stood there. I was like, girl, Donald is not standing over there oozing confidence. That's not what's happening. He's sitting over there now, like with his head down, like, yeah, yeah. No, Donald. Well, Keisha wasn't trying to hear it. I'm sorry, Lakeisha. Lakeisha was not trying to hear it, child. She jumped right in with, so then why did you eliminate him? Like first couple weeks or so. Good question, friend. Ashley, we want to know. Can you explain that, please? And she said it was a lack of communication. Like, 2 days without texting me and calling or nothing. Like, that's a lot. And then show up like, like it ain't nothing wrong. Yeah. Lakeisha said, well, I was with him when he was responding. I've been invested. Lakeisha, girl, why are you so invested? He said he just moved there. So how invested are you? Like, the energy she was giving made me feel like she's like his childhood friend and they've been knowing each other. And she's, you know what I'm saying, really protective of her friend because she knows he's got a very demeanor. Anyway, no, she don't know this man. He said he just moved there. These are his only friends in Oh shit. I'm not laughing. I'm just laughing. Lakeisha said, no, they was real handsy, both of them. Lakeisha said, look, I don't want him like committed and calling and texting somebody, if you're not the one. And I want to know, like, how do you figure out if you're the one, if you're not calling and texting each other, Lakeisha? So then Ashley gets elevated. And they're giving each other like hands all over the place. And Keisha's doing this, and Ashley's doing this. And Vildano is just giggling because he set this whole ball rolling in the first place. He talking about he don't understand why they fighting. You know why they're fighting, because you got mad at that dinner and you brought your friend Lakeisha to get over in Ashley's ass because you're afraid to, because she's got them nails and shit, claw your eyeballs out. Because they're scary. I don't know what she's talking about, and she doesn't care what I think. And so that's fine and good. Lakeisha says Donald has his own sense of style. She knows. She know about his sense of style because she didn't want to help them pick out them loafers in the first place. And she don't like Ashley over here trying to switch things around. She had it fixed the way she wanted it. Ashley said she got a whole wardrobe for that ass. Fran said you should just love him the way he is. Child, it was like you need some popcorn to keep up with this little tete-a-tete what's going on over here. Ashley said, if he walk into my light, he gonna, need to get it right because I'm all about aesthetic. That's what Ashley said. Vernisha sitting over there talking about, listen, he only came with loafers. We've never seen him look like this before. Vernisha, shh, just wait on Tabari to get there, girl. Ashley's not, she's behaving not a nice way. And I don't know why Vernisha and Zodia both feel this need to defend Ashley. We see Ashley, and Ashley is a hot mess, and she's not right. And then she got to take a little bit of responsibility for this because you degraded that man and made him feel some type of way because this boy Kirsten came back over here and brought you some flowers. And because of that, you treated Donald like an asshole and hurt his feelings. So he sent his other girl, Keisha, over here to set you straight. Donald, speak up for your damn self. And if you're not gonna smash Lakeisha, then let her go because she's over here working up her blood pressure, trying to pounce on Ashley. It was uncomfortable. Fred said you should be speaking positivity in him. He has a good sense of style. He's a prize. Alexa, play I Can Love You Better by Mary J. Blige. I can love you better than she can. That's what she was giving. She can love you better, Donald. She got your best interest at heart, not Ashley. She wouldn't be wrong there. I do think that both parties, you should think of your partner as a prize. Like if you don't, then it doesn't make sense. So Ashley said, no, that's how y'all feel. That's how I feel. It's all about me. That's messed up, Ashley. That's not how relationships work. That's not how they work. I mean, I was like, do you like him at all? Y'all are sitting here arguing back and forth over this man like he's not even sitting there. Lakeisha's calling Ashley aggressive. Ashley is calling it Lakeisha sis. I'm finding out now, sis ain't necessarily a good thing. Like, because the way she was saying sis, it might as well had been bitch. That's where they was at with it. And Donna was just sitting there staring off into space. Like, while they was just like, he said it. He said it. He stays around some toxicity. So that's not changed. Maybe if he opened his mouth. Spirit told Ashley he has a choice. Ashley said, not over here, sis. I gave him a chance. And this is what he chose. Not you, me. And then his friend Lakeisha was like, "Well, Donald, how do you feel?" And Donald was like, I really like Ashley." He basically was saying like, "I like her. She taking me being nonchalant is not enough. Like I could dress it up, but there's really no way to dress it up." And Ashley was like, "Oh, but you're supposed to be a poet." Well, I mean, when he says roses are red, violets are blue, I don't know if that really makes him a poet. I guess then I am too. Shit. Donald said just dressing it up is not genuine. And I agree because I feel like in the beginning when he was talking all flowery, it was getting on my nerves because it sounded not genuine. And so, but she liked that, Donald. That's how you got her. Yeah. So I guess you're gonna have to keep doing that. What you have to understand about Ashley is she needs a whole fairy tale, like with Prince Charming and horses and carriages and pumpkins and glass slippers. She needs all that. At this point, Ashley's checked out. She mad. She said, Donald let that girl jump on her. This is terrible. He let her comfort her, and she ain't feeling no type of protection from him. She said his friends showed up with a preconceived notion about her, and she could have only got it from Donald. She did. He went straight home from dinner and was talking about how you was talking about you about to let this other dude back up in the picture and how you ain't like his shoes and if he better not show up in no more loafers or it's gonna be a problem. And she was like, "Oh, I got something for her." That's how that whole thing went down. And he let it happen and just stared off into space. They have a date later on. She's sitting at the table. She already got her attitude on. And he shows up with a gift, like a balloon with some fishnet over it and some LED lights. It was weird. Like, I don't know what I would do with that. Donald, she's not 7. I mean, what was that supposed to be? And she was like, "Oh, that's cute. Let's turn it off till later." Like, what was she supposed to do with that? Ashley told Donald she feels like he didn't stand up for her and didn't, because that ain't what he came to do. More like he set you up. That's what had happened. So she was like, "So what's up with your friend girl?" And he's like, "Nothing. Like, we're just friends, platonic friends." Your platonic friend came over there and she was going at me. It was not pretty. So, like, what do you think about how that was, us meeting? And Donald's like, "I don't even like this energy she giving. It's just not right. She coming in all um Ashley's like, "You sit over here calling me aggressive. Well, your friend is aggressive too." And Donald's like, I'm like, "Boy, what is wrong with you? Did you not hear what she said?" How did you feel about it, Donald? I mean, this was you should be like, "Victory. That's the whole way I planned it." Like, how did you feel? Did you feel good about it? It felt a little uncomfortable to me. Do you really like Ashley? I'm gonna go with not anymore. Once you decided to bring Lakeisha. Donna was saying that Ashley was like, "I'm about to be aggressive. I know that. He better open his mouth. We ain't over here staring in the stars tonight." And Donna was like, "I'm trying to calm down." She's like, "For what?" And just all these fingers in my face. But she was like, "This is my personality." And he's like, "Why are you yelling?" And I was like, "Is she yelling?" I didn't hear her yelling. Now she does do a lot of this, but I wasn't in your face, so like that. That's not what I was doing. He was like, I mean, like right now you're giving me DMX energy. I don't know why he said that because that was not nice. She didn't like it. I didn't understand it. I feel like him and old girl went and had a conversation, and Lakeisha called her DMX. She over there acting like DMX. See, that's a Lakeisha thing. I don't think. And then Donald was like scared. It was like, "You're acting like DMX." And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Well, what would you do if I gave you that kind of energy?" And she was like, "Slap a shit out of you." "Oh, you would slap a shit out of me?" Oh my God. You can't take a joke. I was just kidding. That's not the first time she said that. I think she'd do it. I think she would. She would slap the dog shit out of you, Donald, and you would just stand there and hold your face and look at the floor. And she knows that. She said it to Kirsten, only I don't believe, like, I think you hit Kirsten, he might hit you back. Girl, you better stop running around here telling these men that you're going to slap them upside their head. That's not nice. So Ashley is irritated because because Donald ain't saying nothing, and he sat up there and called her DMX. So she stomped her donkey booty on down to the bushes with that little bitty red dress on. And that's how that episode ended. Next week is their last date, so he didn't get eliminated, so they still got to go somewhere. So I think he took a zip lining. That seems fun. I mean, I guess take her somewhere where you can burn up some of that energy, Donald. Good move. I think what's her name? Sharice and Maurice went horseback riding. That's fun. It is when you know how to ride a horse. And Cameron and Zodia is somewhere sitting around talking about how he's busy and she's trying to figure out how to make him be flexible. Anyway, y'all, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll be back next week to talk about this thing again. Bye, y'all.